Qin Shi Huang was history's ultimate ruthless visionary tyrant. He conquered 6 massive rival kingdoms to forge a single unified empire. He commanded an unstoppable army of heavily armed soldiers. He initiated the construction of the colossal Great Wall of China. He survived multiple terrifying assassination attempts by skilled killers. He ordered the brutal execution of hundreds of dissenting scholars. He burned centuries of priceless historical books to erase the past. He swallowed lethal mercury pills in a desperate quest for eternal life. He built a massive underground tomb guarded by a silent clay army. This is the mesmerizing chronicle of the first emperor of China. The future conqueror was born in 259 BCE during the chaotic, bloody era known as the Warring States period. He was originally named Zhao Zheng and served as the royal prince of the powerful western state of Qin. His father died under highly suspicious circumstances when Zheng was only 13 years old. The young teenager suddenly inherited the throne of a highly militarized and aggressive kingdom. His early reign was completely controlled by a wealthy merchant named Lu Buwei, who acted as his regent. A massive internal palace rebellion threatened to completely destroy his young royal court. Zheng brutally crushed the rebellion, executing the traitors and officially seizing absolute, undisputed power. He quickly realized that the only way to end centuries of civil war was through absolute total conquest. He unleashed the terrifying Qin military machine against the 6 neighboring independent kingdoms. His elite soldiers were heavily incentivized by a strict system that rewarded them based on enemy heads collected. If you love these gripping tales of absolute historical ambition, please like this video right now. The Qin armies utilized advanced mass-produced bronze crossbows that could easily pierce thick armor. Zheng proved to be a master of psychological warfare and ruthless diplomatic deception. He frequently bribed rival politicians to cause massive internal chaos within enemy borders before invading. A desperate rival prince sent a famous assassin named Jing Ku to murder the Qin king. The assassin concealed a poisoned dagger inside a rolled-up map of newly surrendered territories. When the assassin suddenly struck, the terrified royal courtiers were completely frozen by strict palace laws. Zheng frantically dodged the deadly blade by running in desperate circles around a massive wooden pillar. He finally managed to draw his own oversized royal sword and brutally slash the assassin to pieces. The terrifying near-death experience made him deeply paranoid and completely ruthless toward all his enemies. By 221 BCE, his unstoppable armies had completely crushed the final remaining independent state of Qi. For the very first time in history, the massive Chinese heartland was unified under one single ruler. He proudly discarded the traditional title of king because it was no longer grand enough for his achievements. He officially declared himself Qin Shi Huang, a divine title translating directly to the first emperor. He stripped all conquered rival nobles of their weapons and forced them to relocate to his grand capital city. He melted down thousands of confiscated enemy weapons to cast 12 gigantic bronze statues for his palace. He abolished the old feudal system, dividing his massive new empire into 36 strictly controlled military districts. He ordered the standardization of all written script so every citizen could read his strict imperial laws. He standardized weights, measurements, and even the exact width of chariot axles to improve road travel. He introduced a single universal copper currency to completely integrate the massive imperial economy. Make sure to subscribe to Stickman Chronicles because we drop epic history content every single day. Despite his brilliant administrative reforms, he ruled his new empire with absolute, terrifying iron cruelty. He fiercely embraced the philosophy of legalism, which demanded harsh physical punishments for the smallest crimes. He completely despised the peaceful, traditional teachings of Confucianism that valued moral virtue over state power. He ordered the systematic burning of all philosophical books and historical records from the conquered states. He wanted history to officially begin directly with his own glorious reign and erase all previous kings. When traditional scholars dared to openly criticize his harsh policies, he retaliated with horrific brutality. He reportedly ordered 460 dissenting scholars to be buried completely alive in the capital. To protect his northern borders from fierce nomadic raiding tribes, he initiated a massive construction project. He connected massive existing border fortifications to create the first continuous iteration of the Great Wall. Hundreds of thousands of peasant conscripts and political prisoners were forced into brutal manual labor. The horrifying working conditions were so deadly that the wall became known as the longest cemetery on Earth. He also constructed a massive network of imperial highways radiating outward from his capital like a star. He built the mysterious Ipang Palace, a complex so massive that it was never completely finished during his lifetime. As he grew older, the paranoid emperor became completely obsessed with discovering the mythical elixir of life. He desperately feared the concept of death and refused to allow anyone in his court to mention the word. He funded massive maritime expeditions to search the eastern seas for legendary islands inhabited by immortals. None of these brave explorers ever returned, likely fleeing to avoid the emperor's wrath upon failure. His royal alchemists continuously fed him rare medicinal pills designed to extend his lifespan indefinitely. Tragically, these sacred pills were actually laced with toxic liquid mercury that slowly poisoned his brain. The heavy mercury poisoning made him incredibly erratic, aggressive, and deeply isolated from his advisors. He constantly moved in total secrecy through a vast network of underground tunnels connecting his palaces. He demanded that a colossal underground mausoleum be constructed to serve as his eternal palace after death. The massive tomb complex required the forced labor of over 700,000 workers spanning several decades. He ordered the creation of an entire life-size Terracotta Army to physically protect him in the afterlife. Every single one of the 8,000 clay soldiers was crafted with a completely unique facial expression. The underground army included perfectly sculpted clay horses, bronze chariots, and heavily armed infantry formations. Ancient historians claim the central tomb chamber features a massive map of the empire with flowing rivers of liquid mercury. The ceiling of the tomb was decorated with shining pearls to represent the eternal celestial night sky. The paranoid emperor ordered massive mechanical crossbow traps to instantly shoot any grave robbers who entered. To keep the tomb's secrets perfectly safe, the surviving workers were deliberately sealed inside the complex and left to die. During a grand tour of his vast empire in 210 BCE, the mercury poisoning finally destroyed his failing body. He passed away suddenly inside his royal carriage at the age of 49 while traveling far from the capital. His scheming prime minister Li Si and the chief eunuch Zhao Zheng decided to keep his death a total secret. They feared a massive nationwide rebellion would instantly erupt if the public knew the tyrant was dead. They ordered carts of rotting fish to be placed directly behind his carriage to mask the terrible smell of his decomposing body. They forged a fake royal decree forcing the emperor's capable oldest son to commit tragic ritual suicide. They placed the emperor's weak and easily manipulated youngest son on the throne as a mere puppet ruler. The massive, unified empire he spent his entire life building completely collapsed within 4 short years of his death. Massive peasant uprisings and fierce rebel armies completely burned his magnificent capital city to the ground. His legendary royal bloodline was completely exterminated during the chaotic transition to the new Han dynasty. Despite his empire's rapid collapse, the administrative foundation he created successfully lasted for 2 millennia. He successfully proved to the ancient world that a single unified state was far stronger than a fractured continent. He single-handedly shattered the feudal aristocratic traditions of his era through absolute, undisputed central authority. His name became an eternal legend, celebrated and feared for centuries in countless global theatrical productions. During the modern era, his powerful legacy represents both the pinnacle of statecraft and the depths of tyranny. Historians still study his strict legal codes to understand the brutal efficiency of early imperial bureaucracies. His inspiring and terrifying legacy directly paved the way for China to become a massive global superpower. Today, vibrant museum exhibits and the breathtaking terracotta warriors celebrate his incredible ambition across the globe. His epic life continues to heavily inspire major characters in global television shows, complex video games, and modern films. He successfully rose from a vulnerable teenage king to become the most iconic unifier in Eastern history. He demonstrated that a ruler's sheer willpower could completely reshape the cultural and physical geography of a nation. His unique blend of military innovation and ruthless suppression heavily influenced Asian politics for countless generations. He spent his entire youth working tirelessly to explore the truth and maintain the ultimate dominance of Qin. The master political architect left behind an eternal legacy of unmatched physical bravery and supreme imperial authority. He successfully balanced the complex logistics of ancient warfare with a massive scale of civilian engineering. His life remains history's greatest example of ultimate individual power maintained through absolute systemic fear. From his quiet youth, surrounded by enemies, to his final legendary breath, seeking immortality, he was unmatched. He permanently redefined the boundaries of human ambition and imperial leadership for many generations to come. His complex administrative achievements and military tactics are still studied by historical academics around the globe today. Smash that like button if you were blown away by this ancient legendary imperial tyrant. Subscribe to Stickman Chronicles right now to join our growing community of history lovers. We upload brand new history videos every single day, so you never miss an epic tale. Leave a comment below letting us know which historical figure we should cover in our next video. Thank you so much for watching this deep dive into ancient political spirit. See you tomorrow for another wild story on Stickman Chronicles. Stay curious and never stop exploring the incredible mysteries of our shared human past.